Hey everybody, Randall Crowder, COO of Phunware. Looking forward to telling you a little bit more about the company. Standard disclaimer. And then this is the agenda we're going to follow today. Give a quick bottom line up front, kind of where we're at today. Talk a little bit about the background, how we got here, why that matters. Give you some real world examples to provide some visuals about how our software works in the real world. Talk some about competition, what our competitive advantages are, why we're a unique solution, and then obviously, we'll have some time for Q&A when we're live after this presentation completes. So jumping right in, bottom line up front, really exciting time for the company right now. Everyone always asks about inflection points. Now is a pretty good inflection point. So we have about $66 million of cash on hand, $5 million of debt. We just put out revenue guidance. We're looking at 50% growth into Q3 and over 100% growth into Q4. And that's without even considering what we're doing around indirect channel activation or blockchain. And so I'll talk about those towards the end of the presentation as well, and why those could be really significant drivers for our growth as we head into 2022. Also excited about what we're doing kind of on the IR side. Obviously there's the business of being in business, and then as a public company, there's the business of, how you're reaching out to investors. And so we're doing a much better job of that, really working with institutions, working with analysts, trying to get additional coverage. Excited to have both Roth Capital and H.C. Wainwright initiate coverage more recently, and hopefully a few more analysts will initiate coverage here soon. And we're also working with a lot of really great IR groups to get in front of more investors, not only domestically, but also abroad. So from Gateway to Grasso Global to Pareto Pacific, really excited to get, our story in front of more people and kind of grow the awareness of the stock. And we're seeing that. You see what happened if, hopefully you already know who Phunware is. A lot of people do. The last couple of weeks have been a pretty exciting ride for the company. A lot of people paying attention to our ticker symbol, PHUN, really strong price appreciation, and really great volume and liquidity for where we're at in the market. So I've always told people, when our stock moves, it moves in a big way. And I still have people reaching out to me, thanking me for getting in at below $1, which I told them was a steal. And I still think below $5 is an incredible steal for just the, the transformational opportunity the Phunware has to not only really make an impact on the technology landscape, but to really make an impact in the stock market as well. And hopefully, there's nothing better than doing well by doing good. But to kind of understand why there's such an amazing opportunity ahead of us, you really got to kind of know where we got our start. And so going all the way back to when the company was founded in 2009, we really had a pretty simple premise. How do we transition large brands off of web and onto mobile? And so we helped build the first NASCAR app. We helped build the first NFL app. We built and maintained most of Fox's mobile application portfolio, Sochi Olympics, CW. We really got a lot of work across the passion verticals. So sports, media, entertainment, they were the ones that really understood what mobile would become. Back in 2009, less than 3% of internet content was consumed on mobile. Fast forward to today, that number is more than 80%. The vast majority of that is native mobile applications. And these passion verticals really understood that mobile was going to be some of the most valuable real estate to a brand on the planet, because it was always connected to a human and always connected to a network. Now, though, just having a mobile application is no longer good enough. People are starting to think about a really interesting and exciting new buzzword called digital transformation. It's how do I get more out of that mobile device, that connectiveness with the customer. And so rather than thinking about this mobile device like a big screen to consume content, to watch Netflix or to scroll through a social media feed and fight about your favorite political agenda, now people are thinking about this like a mobile computer. This is a mobile computer that's location aware, always connected to a human, always connected to a network. And if I think about this as a way to engage a customer, what more can I do with this? And that's really exciting. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. But the funny thing is, most of you have probably already seen digital transformation in action if you watched any movie in recent memory. So take, for example, Tom Cruise in Minority Report. when he's walking through the mall of the future and the retina scans are basically changing all the advertisements. They're personalizing to him as he walks by, or he goes up to the, I think it was a Gap of the future, and the hologram pops up and talks about some of the purchases that he recently made. That's digital transformation. Or when Michael J. Fox almost gets eaten by the big shark in Back to the Future 2, that's a proximity alert, a proximity messaging. You're delivering content based on a consumer being nearby that hopefully is relevant to that consumer. I don't know how much that shark was relevant to Michael J. Fox, but that's neither here nor there. The question is, how do we get from where we are today, where I guarantee you most of you have never experienced that kind of infused technology within your day-to-day life? How do we get from today to there? And the challenge is technology and what we're missing, and that's what Phunware is providing. But before I go there, people always ask, how is COVID affecting your business? By most projections, digital transformation, the adoption curve has been actually truncated by 5 to 7 years. So this is something that a lot of brands are paying attention to now, but we still have, a little ways to go when it comes to making this a real world applicable thing for a lot of brands to better engage consumers. And I'll explain what we're doing to help that process along. So if you imagine the last time you went into a grocery store, maybe you cross an RF signal to open a door, maybe you swipe a credit card to leave. But again, technology doesn't really serve you. You're not getting any holograms. You're not having personalized advertisements meet you. And the problem is we need a software layer to bridge the gap between IoT and digital transformation. And that's what Phunware is all about. That's what we're building. We're building that software layer to connect technology to you, the consumer. And that's what we call MaaS. So Multiscreen-as-a-Service. It's all about how do I get the right content to the right customer on the right screen at the right time in the right place. That's contextual engagement. And that's what our platform was designed to do. But that's not all. What's really exciting about the way we've designed our platform is brands can now standardize on MaaS the same way they would standardize on AWS for their infrastructure cloud. Our platform allows you to license mobile software the same way you would license a CRM from Salesforce. That's huge, because when we were doing that digital agency business, years ago, we were doing, 30% gross margins. It was you build a mobile application for one customer, throw it over the fence, and then go do it all over again for another customer. There's nothing SaaS about it. So when we started building MaaS, the idea was, could we create a SaaS platform that allowed people to license mobile software in this manner that they're already familiar with? And then that allows that platform to grow with the customer. Lord knows that Apple and Google exert monopolistic control all the time. They change and tweak things, and then apps crash. Well, you need somebody behind you, behind your brand, who's updating your app along the way 24/7, making sure you never crash. That's what our platform allows you to do. And what's important about that is the verticals that we're now targeting. So if you think about the passion verticals as being fairly saturated today, where are the verticals who are a little bit late to the mobile game? That's healthcare. It's smart spaces, so retail, hospitality, corporate campuses. A lot of politicians are now getting into mobile in a big way, thinking I want to have my own brand, my own content, be able to manage my own constituency. And so these are really exciting verticals because they're just now understanding how to use mobile to tech enable their customer experiences. And I'll give you a couple of visuals. Take hospitality, for example. Nobody wanted to do this prior to COVID. Really, nobody wants to do it now because of COVID, but we skip all that. So instead of thinking about a hotel app as I'm going to just scroll through some pictures, book a room, and get a confirmation code, a hotel app that is powered by Phunware does so much more. The minute you arrive on property, we're going to create a mobile concierge for you through your mobile device. We're going to be able to, you're going to valet, you're going to get your valet ticket directly to your phone. You can wave on or off if you need luggage support. Once you walk through, the lobby, we're going to send you the keys directly to your phone. You're going to use your phone to access the elevator, use your phone to access your hotel room. You can use the app itself to find your way around these properties. We work with Wynn in Vegas and Boston. We've got a new deployment going on in Atlantis in the Bahamas. And so, these are massive resorts, very complicated to get around, so many different amenities to experience. We make that easy right in the palm of your hand. Another feature that I personally love is if you're somewhere on the property, you can order food or drink from anywhere on the property, and the waiter or waitress will just find you so you can continue to enjoy your experience. That's some of the fun stuff. Now there's really very serious business implications for this platform as well. So take hospitals, for example. If you have limited mobility, and I know that by looking at your EHR, maybe I should have a wheelchair waiting for you when you show up. Maybe because you have limited mobility, I need to make sure you park in the right garage and take the right route. Maybe I have a COVID-free protocol to make sure you don't, intersect with people coming to, report for a COVID test or, possibly a procedure if you've already got COVID. And so there's a lot of deconflicting that patient journey for the patient experience. There's also a lot we do on the clinician side. So there's a lot of things that clinicians are required to do, like dwell time monitoring. If you're in an OR room, there's a lot of medical malpractice implications for that. Understanding who is in an OR, who leaves, when they come back, which vendors are where. There's things that you can do to actually do trouble ticketing effectively for patients, for nurses. If it's kind of a digital call button. If I'm sitting in a recovery bed and I'm trying to reach my nurse and get them to come see me, well, am I getting them to come see me because I need another pillow, I want some food, or am I having difficulty breathing? We have a digital interface that enables all of that. And so really exciting about demystifying the entire continuum of care. This is a huge vertical for us, a lot of room to grow. It's so important in the healthcare world. They don't even call it a mobile app, they call it a digital front door. Another emerging vertical that we're really excited about is the workplace solution. So think about, returning to work. We're doing a massive deployment for Norfolk Southern. They wanted to create basically the office of the future. And so they used our smart workplace solution to integrate everything that they have to manage their operations at their new headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is a very important point to understand about Phunware. Phunware is not one app to replace them all. Phunware is one app to rule them all. Whether you're a large corporation or a hospital or a hotel or a luxury residential building, you're going to work with different vendors. We totally understand that. And that's the way these things happen anyways. For Norfolk Southern, they have one company doing their parking management. They have another company doing their access control. They have another company doing maintenance, another company doing lighting. And they work with Microsoft Teams for all their AV and their scheduling. We take all of that and we stitch it together into a seamless single sign-on mobile experience. And so it's almost like Star Trek and a tricoder. The mobile device on property at Norfolk Southern's new headquarters, you can do anything from that. And that's going to be the future for workplaces who previously only had a website, and the most you would ever engage is maybe a contact us form. Now corporations, especially Fortune 500 corporations, are looking for mobile devices that allow them to do emergency management, on-campus notifications, order food or drink from local, retail shops, locate colleagues, send vendor credentials to somebody, that's coming on site. All these things can happen directly from one mobile application, and this is going to be table stakes going forward. So we're really excited about that. And so, further kind of, really honing in on how we're differentiated, you got to understand what the competitive landscape is today. Like I said, there's still digital agencies out there. You can find people who can build you a mobile app. They're going to get, less than 40%, less than 30% gross margins. They're going to build it, as an N of one. They're going to throw it over the fence. Goodbye and good luck. And if there's any changes, you're going to have to go back to them, and it'll probably be different people building different code and trying to figure out how to keep your app up to date. That's not what we do anymore. You will see, people will say, well, what about, the Googles and the Oracles of the world? The challenge with these is you have to have an in-house resources and an in-house team. If you're a hospital, you're lucky if you have one or two CS undergrads actually supporting your mobile or digital strategy. You don't have these large investments in massive engineering teams that would basically be able to support an SAP instance. And so they have no need for this. They want to license software that just works out of the box. We do see some competition on an industry by industry or point solution by point solution basis, but nobody that has the breadth that we do. And after this slide, I'll talk about one really significant competitive advantage around location that's very important. If you put gun to head, I would say probably our most direct competitor is going to be a large consulting firm like an Accenture. Just like these, verticals that we're talking about, hotels, retail, hospitals, corporations, they might have large engineering teams. They also might not know exactly what they need. So their initial instinct might be, let me go hire a big consulting firm, they'll figure it out. And then what Accenture will do is they'll go cobble together a bunch of point solutions that are never meant to be interoperable, try to stitch them together and do exactly what the digital agencies do, throw it over the fence, goodbye and good luck. Nobody wants that. It usually ends up being over budget, takes too much time. And so Phunware has a really unique selling proposition because we are one of the only, if not the only, outsourced end-to-end mobile cloud platform that works out of the box, that allows you to license mobile software the same way you would license, or subscribe to any SaaS solution. One of the exciting things that we offer also is how we work with customers. So some customers might already have a mobile application. That's totally fine. All of our features and functionalities are designed around software development kits or SDKs or application program interfaces or APIs. So we can integrate our features directly into an existing mobile application to give you a better mobile experience, more feature-rich mobile experience. But again, if you don't have a mobile application, we can give you off-the-shelf, optimized, industry-specific app solutions that, again, work out of the box, that come pre-integrated with all of those features. Now, one of the most exciting features that we have, and it will always be, I think, one of our biggest competitive advantages, is location. Everything that I've been talking about is all about how do you better engage customers or employees or guests. And you can't really engage what you can't locate. Outdoors, you're probably familiar with GPS and satellites, but those satellites don't work when you go inside. And a lot of our experiences through mobile are going to be inside. So how do you locate somebody so that you can identify them, so that you can properly engage them? That's what we call location-based services. And so this idea of using the signal strength inside a building, whether it's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or beacons, and deriving a blue dot is very complicated. We actually beat Google for Kaiser Permanente's business because of our location software. We did it on a cruise ship after 4 vendors failed. We actually signed one of our biggest indirect channel partnerships with Carrier because we were able to do a blue dot in their Center for Intelligent Buildings, which they didn't think was possible just because of the complexities of the building. So our location software will always be a competitive advantage, and it's going to be essential to anyone trying to create a smart space. And we're really industry agnostic. We've done this in a lot of different verticals for a lot of different customers who are very well known. And so we are certainly not a startup. We are certainly not wrestling through tech debt. We have a fully commercialized platform that we're rolling out right now. But what's more exciting to me than even this slide and all the amazing customers that we've delivered for is this slide, how we deliver. And so although we do sell direct today, the goal is to become an indirect channel company, to sell through these much larger partners. And so, as I mentioned, we have this deal with Carrier, traded on the New York Stock Exchange, $20 billion company, the heating and cooling giant that that one is exciting because they already have a mobile application. They've integrated our location software, and they're going to market to try to be kind of the smart, healthy building of the future. But we also have a lot of other wonderful partners. So Cox, for example, one of the largest private carriers in the world, they wanted to get into healthcare. And so Cox ProSite is building off of our digital front door for healthcare. If you go to Cox ProSite's website, you'll notice a lot of the same imagery and the same positioning as our healthcare solution, because we allow a lot of these much larger companies to white label our solution and really get into market a lot faster. HID is doing the exact same thing. HID already, if you've used a key card or a key fob in the last 10 years to open a door, I'll bet it's probably HID technology, multi-billion-dollar access control, 800-pound gorilla in the room. they basically said, look, why not upsell our customers your smart workplace solution? So they've licensed our smart workplace solution. So we really want to take advantage of these much larger distribution networks, these much larger sales teams. And I think that's really how we start seeing that hockey stick in our revenue as we grow. But one thing that we haven't talked about yet, and a lot of people don't realize, is we've been doing mobile software for a long time. And what that allows us to do is actually be a data company. So we also have a customer data platform, and that's really exciting. So just talking numbers, at scale, our knowledge graph our platform sees about 1 billion active devices a month. That's huge scale. We had an early hypothesis of the company was, could we create a Phunware ID for every human being on the planet, touching a mobile device, touching a network? We've created over 15 billion Phunware IDs so far. And so that really led us down this path of, could we blockchain enable this customer data platform? And so everything I was describing, so far is this idea of MaaS. I'm borrowing from Jim Collins, Good to Great here, with a flywheel here with a PH, of course. But what we decided to do was, could we blockchain enable how we're delivering this engagement platform? And so the first thing we came up with was Funcoin. This was this idea of owning your data. It's a regulated security token, and we want to give people the ability to take control of their data. And anytime that data is sold, they should be compensated for it. And so that is this idea of Funcoin, which functions as a regulated security. Now, what you're probably more familiar with if you're following the cryptocurrency space would be utility tokens. That's what you would trade on Binance or Coinbase. And so Fun Token is this concept of valuing engagement. And that would be more of a utility token. And so the interplay there to think about is, if I go to you and say, are you in the market for a car in the next 6 months? Yes or no. I might reward you in Fun Token for answering yes or no. Both answers are valuable to me. And what our customer data platform is going to do is it's going to segment you into a specific audience. Either you're interested in buying a car or you're not. Now, fast forward 2 days, Lexus comes to us and says, hey, we really want to market to everyone in your ecosystem who is interested in buying a car. Can you help us out? So we say, sure. They've now bought data from us in order to deliver you targeted advertising. So we've sold your data. You've told us it's okay to sell your data. We're going to reward you in Funcoin with that. And the cool thing about that is we can either do that on behalf of our customers, or our customers can actually white label our platform and rebrand our tokens so that they can stay on brand. They could call it Lexus Coin and Lexus Token if they wanted to. If they wanted to actually drive that entire engagement themselves through FunWallet, which is what we manage the platform on. So FunWallet is a way for you not only to manage the data you share, but also to engage with the brands that you know of today and other brands that are trying to reach you in the future. And so this is just beginning to roll out now. Putting back, our kind of public officer, hat on. What's really excited about Fun Token is every time we sell Fun Tokens into the market or to brands, that gets, we get to book that as revenue. It's pretty much 100% gross margin revenue, which is great for a public company. Funcoin becomes more of a balance sheet item, but that's, again, non-dilutive cash that we can use to kind of scale the business. And so we're really trying to usher in a new paradigm shift where we're saying, hey, we don't need to really exploit consumers. We don't need to gather data through surveillance. Why don't we create a first-party model that allows users to be a part of that equation? They'll hygiene and sanitize their own data and create a richer, data ecosystem that is controlled by consumers. And so how this all comes together, let's take a cruise ship, for example. They might want to use Funcoin to acquire customers in and around a port prior to leaving, because they know that if they can reach a consumer while they're waiting to board a ship or while the ship is about to leave, that's the best opportunity to sell excursions. Once they identify the customers, we can push notify those customers, earn some cruise coin in this case for watching this video on all these amazing excursions you'll have available to you on your trip. We know that video converts at 80% higher than print medium. We're trying to get people to watch those videos so that we know they can convert. They earn some additional cruise coin, which, again, remember, is just Fun Token. It's just rebranded as Cruise Coin for the brand. And then they can spend that while they're on their trip. They can spend it on food or drink, and they can also have additional opportunities to earn, let's say they're dwelling in the casino for a certain amount of time. All of this is directed by the brand. They can decide what activities they want to reward, and then what they want to encourage people to do. So it's a really exciting new take on how to leverage blockchain for not only a rewards program, but a more fair and honest and transparent data platform that puts users in control. All the while, by the way, on the loyalty part of it, you can actually take that liability off the books, which gets a lot of attention of a lot of brands who hate rewards programs because of that liability they have to maintain on their books. By blockchain enabling that, they can remove that liability, which is really exciting for us. So I really encourage people to learn more about Phunware. There's a lot of content that we've put out there. We're always available for one-on-ones, and so please jot this down, reach out to us. Check us out on investors.phunware.com, and then my email address is just rcrowder@phunware.com. Please reach out if we can be helpful, or schedule any one-on-ones, or if you have any questions about the presentation. But thank you for tuning in.